it's your favorite president here. B-Radio's so good, even I tune in every week to hear what they have to say. And I've got a fantastic piece of news, the best news, really. You can go to babylonb.com/plans and use promo code B-Radio to save bigly. Together, we can make satire great again. Thank you, and God bless America.
Factually inaccurate.
Morally correct. This is Babylon B Radio. Our top story. Planned Parenthood CEO Alexis McGill Johnson issued a dire warning in response to Mattel's new Down syndrome Barbie, saying it might cause young impressionable girls to think that all human life has value.
Here at Planned Parenthood, we proudly kill almost 90% of Down syndrome babies before they have the chance to pollute the world with their inferior genetics. Our eugenics program could be in jeopardy if kids start to see Down syndrome kids as precious gifts worthy of love. We can't allow that to happen. We're calling on Mattel to pull this harmful product from store shelves immediately.
Sources say the dolls have been a hit, with thousands flying off the shelves in the days after release. Progressives, feminists, and Planned Parenthood executives have petitioned the toy company to halt sales to prevent further damage to their worldview and bottom line. Planned Parenthood has offered to buy up the dolls and dispose of them for a small fee. Montana trans lawmaker Zoe Zephyr, formerly known as Zachary Roche, feels strongly that he has nailed his audition as Bud Light's next spokesperson after leading loud demonstrations in the state capitol building.
I will not leave this building until every tiny child has the right to take hormones and get body parts chopped off, reformed into shapes resembling other body parts, and then sewn back onto other areas of their bodies. This is a fundamental human right, and anyone who disagrees wants to murder trans kids.
Zephyr then turned to the camera and said,
"Hey, Bud Light, call me."
Media outlets across the nation reported on the lone hero's noble crusade to sexualize, drug, and mutilate children, condemning mean, nasty Republicans for being such meanie head jerks all the time.
Just look at this beautiful, stunning woman standing up for the rights of other beautiful, stunning women just like her,
said CNN's Jake Tapper.
Wow. Republicans are so mean.
Bud Light also released a statement saying they were all out of the office and unable to talk right now. At airtime, Zephyr had yet to receive a call from Bud Light, but had already secured contracts with Nike, General Mills, ExxonMobil, Berkshire Hathaway, and Balenciaga. In a bid to draw large corporate interests to conduct business in South Carolina and bring tens of thousands of jobs to the state, former Governor and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley has informed Emperor Palpatine that South Carolina is the ideal location to build a new Death Star.
Making South Carolina the new seat of the Galactic Empire would be a real coup for our state. South Carolina is a wonderful place to conduct business while you crush rebellions throughout the galaxy. I would urge Emperor Palpatine to consider all the hardworking men and women of our state who could play a vital role in building Imperial warships, not to mention an entire generation of South Carolina children who are ripe to be brainwashed to serve the Empire in the future. It's a win-win.
Haley, an outspoken critic of both Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, is eager to show how great an ally she can be to enormous corporate entities who stand against freedom and actively work to corrupt young children with poisonous ideas.
I stand for conservatism and freedom. That's why I'm in favor of enticing powerful corporate powers that seek to normalize dangerous ideologies and oppression of free speech to set up shop in my home state. Think of all the jobs the Empire could create here.
While awaiting a response from Emperor Palpatine, Haley was quietly working on her backup plan to persuade the Dark Lord Sauron to relocate his operations from Mount Doom in Mordor to South Carolina. In a massive technological breakthrough, the Galactic Empire has at last developed a door that doesn't simply open when you shoot the control panel with a blaster.
This is a huge step forward for the Empire,
reported Admiral Tarkin.
Frankly, our security has been a bit embarrassing up to this point.
Despite successfully developing a weapon capable of destroying entire planets, the Empire had previously failed in all its efforts to create a door that would stay locked.
It's been so frustrating. I have force-choked so many people out of anger because of its stupid door controls. Sith Lords need a little privacy, okay?
According to sources inside the rebellion, the new door controls may severely hamper efforts to beat back the Galactic Empire.
This will make things way harder. If you were ever captured, one blaster shot and you were out of jail. Prison was a joke. Now it's a trap.
Despite the door improvements, Empire scientists remain stumped as to how to make a right-handed blaster for stormtroopers. The Biden campaign has added a stunt double that will step in for the president to perform high-risk stair scenes.
Stairs are a young man's game. Anything more than stepping off a curb, we're sending in the stuntman.
After scouring hundreds of nursing homes for a look-alike stuntman, the Biden campaign chose 70-year-old Donald Wiggins of Phoenix, Arizona.
The guy moves like a gazelle,
said one Secret Service agent.
Well, maybe it's that I've grown accustomed to Biden's pace. I usually budget about 20 minutes per staircase. We've actually had to work with Donald to slow down on the stairs so people don't get wise to the switch.
Sources inside the administration say the stuntman hire has thus far been a smashing success.
Donald has been a real godsend. The only issue we ran into is at a speech in Denver, when we used Donald to get up the stairs onto a stage, but we couldn't get him switched back before the speech. We told Donald to just mumble under his breath about pancakes for a couple minutes. No one was the wiser. It might have been one of the campaign's best speeches.
At airtime, President Biden had unfortunately suffered 23 fractures from stepping off a small curb. Facing increased criticism over her handling of school closures around the country during the COVID-19 pandemic, United Federation of Teachers President Randi Weingarten defended herself by saying her actual intention was to open schools in the opposite world.
Opposite world is a very familiar concept to those of us who work with small children. It's a world where everything you do and say is the opposite. So logically, when I repeatedly said I wanted schools to be closed, what I was really saying was I wanted schools to be open. I can see how people may have misunderstood me, but it really makes sense. Trust me.
Weingarten and other education leaders have been under fire as evidence has continued to mount that extended school closures have caused significant harm to children throughout the country.
Yes, American school children are now woefully behind. But in opposite world, they're actually the smartest generation of Americans ever. It's all about how you choose to look at things. In opposite world, I'm an outstanding leader. See? It's such a fun game to play.
Experts are perplexed about what can be done to remedy the educational deficit American children face in the wake of COVID lockdowns, but there is a broadening consensus that Weingarten may not be the one to lead the way. At airtime, she was still opining about her fascination with the opposite world, explaining that Joe Biden has made the America of opposite world the most prosperous and powerful nation on earth. In a historic announcement, the Catholic Church has officially granted sainthood to Bandit Healer, father of the titular character on the popular animated program Bluey. Bandit is both the first dog as well as the first animated fictional character to be granted sainthood.
Bandit is one of the greatest examples of our Heavenly Father,
said Vatican spokesperson Matteo Bruni.
Though sainthood is typically only granted when someone has died, the fact that Bandit is a fictional character gave us the loophole we needed to make at this move. Pope Francis is a huge Bluey fan himself, so he was quite eager to make this a proclamation.
Bluey, an Australian program created specifically to be loved by parents and occasionally enjoyed by children, still stands as the finest depiction of fatherhood ever shown on screen, with Bandit achieving levels of greatness as a dad that mere human beings can only hope to emulate.
Sainthood was really the only option,
said Mark Coleridge, Archbishop of Brisbane.
We've all marveled at Bandit for so many years. He just walks so far above all of us. We'd be sinning if we didn't make him a saint, quite frankly.
The Catholic Church was reportedly in talks to canonize every episode of Bluey and commission a marble statue of Bandit be placed at the entrance to the Vatican. After 2 weeks sailing upon the floodwaters in the Ark, Noah began to think that bringing the woodpeckers along may have been a bad idea.
Another hole. Dang woodpeckers. I'll feed you to the owls, you hear me? Don't think I won't do it.
The woodpecker issue reportedly began to rear its ugly head shortly after the Ark rose upon the waters.
Where do these holes in the ship keep coming from? And what the heck is that hammering sound? Oh man, I forgot about the woodpeckers! A wood ship with woodpeckers? Lord, this is gonna get annoying.
In addition to the woodpecker trouble, Noah quickly discovered the Ark also had a severe beaver problem.
That's the bottom deck, you morons! Where's a wolf when you need one? I just don't get how... Hey, who built a dam out of my kitchen table?
Noah then once again inquired of the Lord if he was only supposed to bring the animals onto the Ark, or if he had to keep them alive. B-Radio features officially curated content from the Babylon Bee. Scripted, voiced, and produced by Austin Robertson. Additional voices in this episode from Dan, Emma, Jared, Kirsty, and Kristen. Don't miss an episode. Subscribe to B-Radio on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts. And save 20% on your annual subscription at babylonbee.com/plans. Just use promo code B-Radio.